The desert is a place of infinite silence, but it is a silence that screams. For thousands of years, the shifting dunes of the Sahara have acted as a massive natural shroud, concealing secrets that were never meant to be dragged into the light of the 21st century. For decades, Hollywood has sold us a version of The Mummy that felt like a theme park ride, an adventure filled with golden treasures, heroic escapes, and ancient puzzles. But director Lee Cronin is about to strip away that polish and replace it with something much more primal. Pure, unadulterated fear. After the visceral, blood-soaked triumph of Evil Dead Rise, Cronin is taking the universal monsters back to their roots in the dark. This isn't just a movie about a creature in bandages. It's a cinematic descent into an ancient, supernatural rot that feels heavy, dusty, and dangerously inevitable. He is resurrecting the original nightmare of 1932, where the horror didn't come from a jump scare, but from the terrifying realization that some things are too evil to stay dead. The heartbeat of this new story is a tragedy that feels painfully real, long before the supernatural elements even appear. We follow the harrowing journey of a journalist whose life was shattered 8 years ago when her young daughter Katie vanished into the vast, unforgiving desert without leaving a single footprint behind. For nearly a decade, the family has lived in a hollow shell of grief, trapped in a vacuum of unanswered questions. But then, the impossible happens. Katie is found. She walks out of the shimmering heat of the desert, seemingly unharmed. But as the initial miracle of her return fades, a chilling reality sets in. This is not the innocent child they lost. Her eyes reflect 1,000 years of darkness, and her presence brings a suffocating cold that shouldn't exist in the heat of summer. Something ancient and predatory used that little girl as a doorway. And now, the reunion they prayed for has become an invitation to a living hell. In Cronin's world, the mummy isn't a monster in the distance. It's a presence that sits at your dinner table, watching you with eyes that aren't its own. Lee Cronin is not interested in the fun side of horror. He has described the tone of this film as a collision between the domestic haunting of Poltergeist and the grim, rain-slicked obsession of David Fincher's Seven. This isn't a story about ancient tombs and booby traps. It's a grounded, gritty, and deeply disturbing investigation into a crime that defies the laws of nature. Imagine the meticulous, dark atmosphere of a psychological thriller where the serial killer isn't a man, but an immortal curse that leaves a trail of sand and dust in its wake. There are no heroic archaeologists here to save the day with a shotgun and a quip. Instead, we are promised a bold and violent reimagining of the mummy lore that focuses on what Cronin calls the horror of the domestic. It explores how an ancient external evil can systematically dismantle a modern family, turning their home into a tomb where every shadow is a threat and every creak of the floorboard is a reminder that you are no longer the master of your own house. Expect the visual experience to be a masterclass in body horror. Lee Cronin has built his reputation on practical effects that make the audience squirm, and he is bringing that same relentless intensity to the physical reality of mummification. We won't just see a monster, we will witness the agonizing preservation of a soul trapped in a rotting vessel. Rumors from the production suggest a terrifying focus on the concept of occult hardware, the idea that the human body can be repurposed into a focal point for demonic entities. This isn't about a creature chasing you through a museum. It's about a curse that breathes through your lungs, speaks through your voice, and stares through your reflection in the mirror. It's an atmospheric decay that feels almost tactile, where you can almost taste the stale air of a 1,000-year-old burial chamber. Cronin is reclaiming the mummy as a monster of the flesh, a creature that belongs in our most visceral nightmares, forcing us to confront the terrifying thin line between life, death, and eternal preservation. With a powerhouse cast led by Jack Rayner and May Calamawy, and the backing of modern horror titans James Wan and Jason Blum, this project is more than just a seasonal release. It is a calculated audition for a brand new era of the Universal monsters. On April 17th, 2026, the sarcophagus finally opens, and the world will learn the truth about what really happened to Katie in the desert. We are entering a new universe where these icons are no longer museum pieces or action movie villains, but living, breathing manifestations of our deepest fears. The desert never keeps its promises, and as we are about to learn, some histories are better left buried under the weight of the sand. But it's too late for the journalist, and it's too late for us. The curse has been awakened, the ritual is complete, and the man in the shadows is finally coming home. Lock your doors, draw the curtains, and keep the lights burning bright, because the ancient world is knocking, and it doesn't intend to leave.